Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning to you. This is Marva Dolphin, your spiritual growth and transformation coach. And I am so excited to be here this morning with you. I help women who are ready to unblock. I help them unblock those blocks and tap into their higher power and let go of the turmoil. That has kept her bound. So I am so grateful to be here with you this morning. I am excited to be here with you this morning. I am streaming, so if you get something, a notification to tap in, please do tap in so you can be a part of this live stream. I will be broadcasting every Wednesday morning at 8:30, and this show is entitled Crossing Over Barriers. And today I will be talking about why fear is healthy and unhealthy. Why fear is healthy. Why fear is healthy and unhealthy. It amazes me that so many of us live a fearful life. And the women that I work with, the fear that they have is oftentimes triggered by trauma, triggered by something they've been through, an event, um, triggered by an experience that occurred, and they have difficulties getting rid of those fears. I'm so excited that you're here with me this morning. God bless you. I can't see you, so if you get a notification to connect, please do it. I'm streaming with an app that's streaming on multiple platforms. Therefore, you have to authorize me. Yeah, I see one. You have to authorize the app for you to be a part of the conversation. Good morning to you, Cheryl. It is so good to see you. I see quite a number of you aren't, but the app doesn't allow you uh, automatically. You have to authorize it. So good to see you, my dear. Thank you for joining me this morning. I am talking about why fear is healthy and unhealthy. It is both healthy and unhealthy. And it is amazing that fear is healthy because God made us that way, right? God made us with these emotions, and that when fear is in our midst, the body is so amazing that it triggers us for a response, right? The body triggers epinephrine, it triggers norepinephrine, it triggers cortisol. So the body is preparing for an event that's before us. So, what is it you want to do? The epinephrine just pumps in the blood and causes your blood pressure to rise up, and blood goes to your brain. So you're now on the alert and ready for action. And the body also triggers cortisol, which tells the body, well, we have enough muscular strength to either run away or to fight this battle that's before us. So fear is actually a healthy thing in that response, right? When danger is before you, fear is actually healthy because the body is now ready to respond to that fear. You have the blood pressure is heightened, it is ready and flowing, and the cortisol readies the muscles to either fight the battle or to move on. So it's healthy in those events. Well, when it's not healthy is when we're carrying these hormones because of an event that occurred in our lives. So it's not healthy in that respect. It's healthy, of course, to let us know that yes, we have to do something about it. We get to do something about it. But it's unhealthy if we have these hormones in our bloodstream for years on end doing nothing with it. So now our blood pressure is always high, right? And we're not ready to fight any battle per se, but the blood pressure is high and it's causing damage to our blood vessels. So it's very, very important for us to decrease those stressors from fear when there is no fear in our midst. It's actually unhealthy in that respect. So it's very important for us to deal with our stresses, to deal with the traumas, to deal with those things, those experiences that occurred in our lives many, many years ago. We get to deal with them because we're triggering hormones that are detrimental to our bodies. So it's very important for us to deal with trauma, old trauma, right? Instead of saying, hey, Susan, good morning. Instead of saying, I will not deal with it today, right? Instead of being angry all the time, instead of being anxious all the time, instead of being depressed all the time. Meanwhile, all this norepinephrine and epinephrine and cortisol is running through our bodies. And that is quite helpful, unhealthy. Good morning to you. Good to see you this morning. We're talking about why is fear healthy and unhealthy at the same time in today's segment. And I said that it's healthy because this amazing body that God gave us, right? When fear is before us, it triggers these hormones that are helpful for us to make a decision, whether we're going to fight or we're going to what they call flight, whether we're going to run away. So when we have it triggers norepinephrine and epinephrine and cortisol. Cortisol gives us the muscular strength and gives us the stamina to endure the fight if we're going to fight, what's before us, or if we're going to run away. So we have enough of these hormones in our muscles to run away. But it's unhealthy when we have an old trauma dealing with, right? And we refuse to let go of the trauma. And then we have these hormones just circulating in our blood. It becomes very unhealthy. It triggers high blood pressure. So our blood pressure is heightened because of these hormones. And we're now refusing to deal with the situation that's before us. A year passed, 2 years passed, 3 years passed. We're angry, we're upset. We want to fight people, but there is no fight before us. And yet we have these hormones in our system that's damaging our blood vessels because we have high blood pressure, right? And these things are circulating within us. So it's actually very important for us to deal with our traumas that's been in our life for many years and have not dealt with it. Certainly when we have new traumas, we need to give ourselves time to deal with it. So if we have, say, a death of a loved one, that's traumatic. And we need to give ourselves time to deal with that stressor. But if, say, 20 years have gone by and you're still angry about this loved one leaving, you're now triggering these hormones to be in your body, and that is unhealthy. So the experience of fear and the hormones being triggered is healthy because it sets us up to deal with a situation with power and with strength, because the cortisol gives us great power to decide whether or not we're going to fight or whether we're going to run away. And the blood pressure is heightened and the blood flow is pumping because blood needs to get to the brain, right? It's difficult for things to get to the brain. But now you got a gush of blood going through the brain with these hormones in it, and your brain is like, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to make a decision, right? And so your brain makes a decision sometimes based upon the capabilities, right? So your body mass, you're looking at your situation before you and say, okay, I can deal with this situation before me. I can fight it. I can push back. I can deal with it. Or you look at the situation and you say, oh no, I can't deal with this. Let me run away. And the body's done, right? The body's finished. But once you make those decisions, it's over. But our minds, right, continues on that pattern of dealing with this situation over and over and over again. And then we have to let our minds know, well, this situation is over. and I am letting it go, right? It's very important for us to go into solitude. The Bible tells us to go into solitude and pray, right? Pray and meditate and release and let go of those things that are unhealthy in our lives. And when that doesn't work, we have to get some assistance, right? We have to get assistance in teaching us tools and techniques to let go of those situations, right? He said, I try to pray and give my fear to the Lord when I am unable to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. To pray and give those things to the Lord. And oftentimes when we give it away, give it to God and say, well, I'm going to let go and let God. But we find that these things are still in our system because some of us have these thinking minds, right? It continues to think the stinking thinking, even though the threat is no longer there. Then we have to find other means to get rid of those fears, right? To get rid of those triggers that are in our minds that we need to definitely let go and not hold on to, because it is unhealthy for our system. It is triggering hormones that we don't need to utilize in that moment. And so we're walking around pumped up and angry day in and day out. So fear can be healthy and it can be absolutely unhealthy. It's unhealthy when we're dealing with old traumas, old issues, right? Old things. Sometimes we're dealing with issues where we're no longer talking to someone, right? For whatever reason occurred or whatever experience happened with that person, but it's over. And so when we see that person or see someone who looks like that person or hears the person's name, oh, those hormones are triggered all over again. And so it means that we did not let go and we didn't let God. And we get to deal with that some other way, right? We get to deal with, continue letting go and letting God, but also be smart enough to utilize other tools that are around us to help us to let go and release and to move on into a new. But we heard that the Bible says, behold the new, right? Old things are passed away, behold the new. And so if we're never making room for the new, we're always holding the old. We're saying, God, there is no room for you here. That is actually what you're saying. And we don't think about it. So when we don't make room for God by letting go of those old things, we never get the new things. We never be in the now in which God needs us to be. It's absolutely very important. So that is it for today. It's short, crossing over barriers. Join me every Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning, and I will have another word for you. Today is why is fear healthy and unhealthy? And we get to deal with the fears and the triggers that are before us. What did you say, Cheryl? The issues that cannot do anything about. Yes, those you have to give to God. Absolutely. The issues that we cannot do anything about, those are the things that we have to give to God. Yes, and we get to give it to God, but sometimes it is difficult for us to give it over, right? Because we're holding on to it like a baby. It is mine because this actually happened to me, right? So we don't want to now let God have it and let it go. And so you get to do that. You get to do that in a healthy manner. And so my name is, again, Marva Dolphin. I am a spiritual growth and transformation coach, and I am also a pastor by calling. And I will be happy to help anyone who is looking at this broadcast. You can DM me and I will get in touch with you. God bless you, and be sure to live, love, laugh, and launch, because this is the day that the Lord has made, and you shall rejoice in it. Take care, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.